Welcome to this week's edition of Aggie News. I'm your anchor this week, Ashton Griffith. Thanks, Dana, for giving us what we should expect as we look at outdoor activities this weekend. This weekend on Saturday, September 16th, the Aggie men's football team will play at Elon University at 6 p.m. The Aggies hope to recover after running a 0-2 streak this season. Whether you will be traveling to the game or simply passing by a football player, let's continue to encourage them and show what true Aggie pride is all about. The annual Aggie Eagle Classic took place this past Saturday as North Carolina A&T lost their second game of the season to North Carolina Central University. The Aggies finished the game with a struggling performance as starting quarterback Eli Brickhandler was benched after the first two drives of the game. As the Eagles started off with an 11-point lead, North Carolina A&T responded with an 85-yard kickoff by wide receiver Tamone Cook. Running back Wesley Graves would score A&T's last touchdown of the night with a 47-yard run. For the Aggies, ultimately lost the game to the Eagles 30-16. Here's A&T head coach Vincent Brown on his team's performance following this week's matchup. Some acknowledgeable things have happened this past week in the sports world. I'm Ashton Griffith, and taking the lead in Aggie sports news this week is the Aggie football team, who was still on the search for their second win of the season against the Delaware Blue Hens. Our football Aggies are still in the search for their first conference win of the season as they lost to the Delaware Blue Hens 21-6. The Aggies failed to slow down the run game from the Blue Hens, allowing 322 rushing yards, being the most all year with two 100-yard rushers. The offensive struggles for the Aggies returned as they finished under 200 passing yards again. With another loss, the Aggies would result in a losing record, which would be their fifth losing season since 2009. They look to turn things around this week against their in-conference opponent, the Richmond Spiders. The Richmond Spiders comes in with a 4-3 record and with wins of the 4 out of the last 5 games. Unlike previous teams the Aggies have faced, Richmond actually has a passing attack. Richmond comes in with two quarterbacks having over 500 passing yards on the season. The game will kick off at 1 p.m. at Truist Stadium, so let's make sure to go out and cheer on our Aggies to pull through with a win. On the other hand, our Lady Aggies bowling team continues to dominate the conference, as one Aggie in particular makes sure her collegiate bowling career is off to a striking good start. Reporting Haiti Pender has more. In other college football news, the North Carolina Tar Heels, led by star quarterback Drake May, continued their undefeated campaign this weekend against ACC rival Virginia. The Tar Heels just came off a top 25 victory in a 41-33 win against Miami. Tez Walker, the star receiver who has recently gained his eligibility to play this season, had 3 touchdown catches this game. Walker is already making an impact for the Tar Heels in his first 2 games back. In a matchup that is usually only hyped during basketball season, this football season the Tar Heels and arch rival Duke could both be ranked when they meet in 4 weeks. Duke is 5-1 in the season and only suffered a loss against Notre Dame, ranking 11th this season. Sports in your local area has been heating up this past week. I'm your sports anchor, Ashton Griffith, as today we start with a sports spotlight on 2 of our local high school football teams. The Dudley High School football team is undefeated this season with a record of 9-0. The team is ranked 1st in the Mid-State 3A region and 7th in North Carolina. Right behind them is Eastern Guilford High School, who is 8-1. The 2 teams will face off for the region championship this Friday at Eastern Guilford High School at 7 p.m. Don't miss out on a chance to catch this major matchup. On the other hand, our A&T football team faced off against the Richmond Spiders, but unfortunately lost the game 33-10. The Spiders jumped ahead quickly with a score on their first drive. Aggie wide receiver Tamone Cook would score the team's only touchdown of the game with his 3rd 90-plus yard kickoff return of the season. With the team losing this past game and only 4 more games to go, A&T will officially end their first year in the CAA conference with a losing record. Here's head coach Vincent Brown on his team's performance.